You're watching Hawaii News Now Sunrise.
It's 5:55. Jimmy Borges fought his way into show business and he never looked back.
He has performed with some of the biggest names in the business: Tony Bennett, Judy Garland, and jazz great Wynton Marsalis. Last year, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. But as he tells us, he has chosen to live and leave a legacy instead of getting medical treatment. How are you feeling?
Overall, I'm feeling very, very good today. But every day is kind of a crapshoot. I'm never quite sure how I'm going to feel. I have a kind of a woozy feeling every day, and it depends, the severity depends upon that day. It has nothing to do with what I ate, or it's just my body going through changes, adapting to the cancer. That's what my doctor told me, and that plus I'm 80. You put it all together, and so there's an adaptation that's going on. I'm very fortunate that I'm a pretty healthy guy. That's how I beat my first cancer. I have a strong, healthy body. All my numbers are pretty good.
What were you diagnosed with most recently?
I have liver cancer in my lungs, which is very difficult to treat. If it was just lung cancer, that would have been easier to treat. But liver cancer in my lungs was, according to about 6 doctors that I talked to, from Sloan Kettering, MD Anderson, UCLA, etc., that this was pretty untreatable. And especially at my age, even though my numbers are good.
How are you doing mentally?
I feel great. I really do. I'm not, I've been such a fortunate man. I don't believe in the word luck. There's no such thing as luck. You create your own foundation. And I'm a fortunate man because I saw fortune and I grabbed it when it came my way. And I made sure I don't believe in failure. I believe that everybody will be successful, everybody, if they spend enough time chasing success. That means getting up, getting up, getting up, getting up, getting up. I don't care if it takes you 80 years to do it, but if you finally hit that point at 80, you're okay. The thing is that you do it. That's what life is all about. Chasing your dream and your passion. And I've done that from day one. I got nothing to complain about. I have a wonderful scorecard. I'm as successful as anybody who's ever lived on this earth, because I started off to be a singer who wants to get paid so that I can pay my bills, and that's what happened. And 60 years of that,
You have a special that you taped on PBS that's airing soon, and that you taped before. And in talking to the crew, they said that you were very open about the fact that you have inoperable terminal cancer. Why have you been so open about this?
Because I have the choice of laying down and allowing myself to die, just die, or chasing life instead of living life, or using my life as a tool for teaching and for mentoring. That's what I chose.
.624, it's entertainment news for you this morning, and he is the only person in the world to get access to Frank Sinatra's arrangements. Jimmy Borges used Old Blue Eyes music, but he put his own spin to songs like My Way and Fly Me to the Moon. Grace Lee got to sit down with the legend as he deals with terminal cancer.
You're the only one who's ever had access to Frank Sinatra's songs, his arrangements. I learned that from Leslie Wilcox at PBS. Tell me how that came about.
Well, this time around, I asked one of his friends here, whose name escapes me right now. That's part of being 80. And I asked him to call Mr. Sinatra to see if I could borrow his arrangements, because I wanted to do a concert of featuring the music of Frank Sinatra, not Frank Sinatra, but in honor of the music of Frank Sinatra. So he called Mr. Sinatra. He called back after 7 weeks, and his famous words were, "Let the kid have it." You know, I loved it. The kid, I was 50 years old, you know. But he had done that, and I first met him in Las Vegas in like 1959. I'm not sure if he remembered. That's why I didn't bother doing the call. He meets everybody. And who am I? This is this kid, Jimmy Borges from Hawaii. Jimmy what? And you know, it's that kind of thing. I mean, I didn't want to face that, so I had my friend call him. Anyway, when I first met him, I was brought to Las Vegas by Shirley MacLaine to be in her husband's show, which was called Holiday in Japan. So I start singing, "Love is a many, many splendid thing." And I'm smiling, and my lips are stuck. My lips get stuck here, and they're like that, you know. I didn't know what to do with them, so I just, whatever it was, I just went straight with it. Said, that's showbiz, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the show, Shirley came back. I said, "Oh, God." I was thinking, "Oh, God." I said, "Sure, you know, did they like the show?" They loved you, Jimmy. They thought you were great. They said, "Not only does that kid sing great, but he has one of the nicest smiles we've ever seen." And I said, "Shirley, surely there wasn't a smile. My lips were stuck to my gums." So that was that story for opening night.
Oh,
But,
unbelievable.
you know, true stories like that, you can't beat them.
No, you can't. What will happen to those arrangements of Frank Sinatra?
I still have them. I still have copies of them, and I can use them for concerts. They're really quite expensive because they were made especially for him by the greatest arrangers in the world: Nelson Riddle, Billy May, Quincy Jones, etc. You know, that kind of stuff. But it was very kind that he liked me. You know why he liked me? He liked me because I didn't sound like him. I wasn't trying to be a second Sinatra. He was my mentor and my teacher, but I wasn't trying to sound like Frank Sinatra. I sang it, whatever the songs I did it my own personal way. But the phrasing was mine, not Sinatra's. But we had the same style and the same genre. If it wasn't for him, Frank Sinatra was the genesis of people like Jimmy Borges, Tony Bennett, Jack Jones, Harry Connick, Michael Bublé. All these people started with Frank Sinatra in their foundation.
These stories and also great music. You got to watch it tonight if you get a chance. The special on Jimmy Borges airs tonight on PBS at 8 p.m. And he's also raising money for a UH Vocal Scholarship that has been established in his name. It's a fundraiser called For the Love of Jimmy. That's going to be held January 30th at the Westin Moana Surfrider to raise money for vocal students.
Ah, yeah. PBS Hawaii is celebrating the life of entertainer Jimmy Borges with a 1-hour special tonight at 8. The 80-year-old singer is battling stage 4 lung cancer. It is inoperable. It is terminal. In his 60-plus years in the entertainment industry, Jimmy has been interpreting the works of America's most beloved songwriters, including Gershwin and Ellington, among others. I was honored to get the chance to sit down with Jimmy for a one-on-one. When you look back at your career, you've met and performed with some of the biggest names in music. Who are your favorites?
My all-time favorite singing was Tony Bennett. Because Tony Bennett sings from in here, and he tells a story. And singing with people like Judy Garland, the greatest female singer of the century. She came in and we sang together. Al Jarreau, great jazz singer. Wynton Marsalis, the greatest trumpet player, jazz trumpet player in the world. They all came by to see me. I was thrilled at that. That's what thrilled me. I said, you know what? These people who I adore, they came by to see me and they bought some drinks and paid to see me. I said, that means so much to me. That means in my career that I've done something in my career to make somebody curious about my talent and want to come and see me. That's what it's, for me, it doesn't get any better than that. And then I was able to sing with them and they be part and parcel of their musical life and vice versa. Now, I get letters from them, or somebody will call me, or whenever they come back in, they'll send people in. Robert Wagner's been a good friend for God knows how many years. You know, he'll send people, Don Johnson, or all these different actors that come in from times before, then the newer ones will be coming in. And all because of just a few people that you started with.
How do you hope to be remembered? 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now?
As someone who cared. Someone who cared.
Well, I think you've accomplished that for sure. You have a special gift of making people feel like you know them, and you have a way of connecting with your audience and with people.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to add?
If whoever's watching this, when you connect with another human being, be who you are. Don't worry about being judged. Be who you are. And you will refine yourself from that point on. Whoever you are is okay. Whoever you are is okay. And if it needs refinement, it will find it. It will come along just like water in a bowl. It finds its level. But if you're not honest, and if you're not honest in your relationships, and you're not honest with yourself, then there's nowhere to go. You can't look in the mirror because you won't like that person.